Good morning to you, whoever's out there. This is Felixstowe live at 5:30 on the morning of the 16th of June 2020. Sorry, 2021, of course. And it's just coming up to 5:30 a.m. and we're just filming live OOCL Japan, coming alongside at berth number 9 at Felixstowe. I think you should be able to see the flashing lights, the roof arrays from the guys on the mooring party, who are actually all prepared to take the heaving lines ashore and pull in the ship's main moorings. She completed her swing before we actually got here, and as you can see, she'll be ready to start unloading in about probably half an hour to an hour, depending on how everything goes. Let's just take a bit of a closer look at what's happening aboard if we can. So you're going to have to excuse any wobbly camcorders. Let's just take a look at the bridge and at the bridge wing. And on the bridge wing you can see the pilot, usually the captain or maybe the first officer with them today, not sure which. I'm not sure who the pilot is on Japan this morning. For those of you who are not very familiar with the way they handle ships, they swing them so they come in facing bow, pointing the other direction to what it is now, upstream in other words, and they turn them round, which is largely done by the tugs, but is also assisted by the ship's main engine and by her bow thrusters, until she is pretty nearly parallel to the quay, and then the tugs line up alongside and effectively really push her in. You can see one of the tugs right at the bow there. That is just the stern end of one of the tugs as they push up to push OOCL Japan against the quay. You can see the amount of force from the tug's propeller weight. You can see the amount of force she's exerting. Several thousand horsepower pushing away at this very large container ship. It's one of the class of 400-metre ships owned by OOCL that have national names. Very popular vessels, actually. A lot of people like them, and I like them because I think they look quite nice. They've got a reasonable ship shape to them. She's got 3 tugs working with her. The one you can see at the bow here is Svitzer Shotley. At the stern, she's got Svitzer Deben in a similar position close to the stern, and standing off her, she's got Svitzer Kent. At the moment, looking at the layout on AIS, it looks like she's got her bow slightly closer in than the stern. But that's completely under the control of the pilot and the master, who are watching keenly as she comes in. It won't be very long now before she's close in enough for the guys on deck to throw over the heaving lines, which are the lightweight lines that are attached to the main mooring lines, and they enable the rope to get ashore so that the guys on the shore can actually get those ropes onto bollards before the ship really needs them. I don't think the tug is working quite as hard now as it was, because the pilot and the master want to bring the ship alongside as gently as possible. Although the reality, as we know, is that the fenders in the quay are pretty solid, and you get something the best part of 200,000 tons coming alongside, you want it moving as slowly as possible. In large part, of course, you don't want to put dents in the boat. And when you see similar operations in strong winds, well, let's be honest, it is a genuine work of art, and you have to stand back in awe of the pilot and the master's skills in ship handling, and the work of the mooring party and the ship's crew, who get the ship in position alongside the quay as soon as they can. You can now see one of the tracks moving up the quay is going up to work with the springs, because the first lines that come ashore are the bow and stern springs, and they're then followed by the head ropes. See if we can find ship's crew on the deck. You can see there some of the ship's crew. That's it. And the heaving line, not sure whether both heaving lines, I'm sure one heaving line, I think it's certainly ashore, I'm not sure about the other one. And there goes the bow rope, or the bow string, sorry. There goes the bow string. There we go. So you can see that a bit better. So the mooring party members are going to haul that rope back. Which I think you should see starting any moment. But they've got the shore end of the rope, so they're good. I think it is a work of art putting a ship of this size alongside the quay. Spectacularly good. Don't know whether you can hear the machinery working out there in the dock as well, because like all industrial operations to this scale, it never really stops. Christmas Day, bank holidays, on 1 or 2 days through the year when work stops, but not many. Just get a bit closer in on the bow there so that we can watch the boats on the shore. They usually double up on the bow springs, so there's usually 2 bow springs going back. They head towards the back of the ship, so they're actually fastened to a bollard about the same length back from the ship, or maybe a bit more than the bow is from that rope fair lead. And I think she must be pretty well there now. See the guys. Let's see if we can see the mooring party up close. It's working away there. And there you are. What's happened now, I think, is that the mooring party have got the rope onto the bollard, and the ship's winch is now pulling it in to make it tight. And there we go. So that is the first rope for sure. There's probably something similar happening at the stern, because the springs go on first and come off last. And of course that enables the ship to shuffle back and forth. It doesn't really do that just by pulling the rope, which is what you'd do with a yacht or a small boat. But the ship uses its main engine to shuffle back and forth a little bit if it needs to get in the correct position for the cranes. But in this instance, looks pretty firmly alongside and pretty firmly in position. The tug crews and the shore staff, the mooring group, do have good reputations here at Felixstowe. It's often said that the Switzer crews at Felixstowe have been doing it so long they could nearly do it in their sleep, and the mooring parties work very effectively and, when required, very quickly. It's a job that needs, or that takes, some standing about. I think you have to be able to put up with a bit of standing about, but in reality, you have to be on the spot when it's all happening. People say that it's not very quick. Some people have commented to us that it's not a quick process, but in actual fact, it's as quick as it needs to be. It's not a rush. You're best to get it right when you're playing with a ship of this size. Sorry about the bleeping. Cured that. Worth remembering just how big these ships are. This particular ship is 399.87 meters long, 58.8 meters wide, and her gross tonnage is 210,890 tons. Now that's just not that far away from 250,000 tons. It's a big thing, a big device. If you like what we do on Felixstowe Live, give us a like, give us a love, and you can get in touch with me anytime while we're live, especially because we are live online. You can see what we're doing, and any way I can help you, give me a shout. I do think that big ships like this look fantastic in the morning light. They look superb. 5:44 a.m. on the morning of the 16th of June 2021. And I don't think you can beat the sight that we see now. There is one of the mooring party vehicles heading back towards, I don't know whether she's heading back to, oh, I think she's turning around, right, okay. Oh, I think he's, no, he's parking up. Okay. Just go back to the bow of the ship and have a look at what the crew on board are doing. Whoops, excuse me. Things get a bit wobbly because I'm working at a distance. There we go. And as you can see, oh right, one of the heaving lines is already down. That's one of the bow ropes, and it looks like the one where you can actually see the eye on the end of the rope hanging down a little bit below the fair lead. I'm not sure if it's that one actually. We'll see. Let's see what the guys are doing. But the shore party are, or the mooring party are now working to get lines ashore. And that, as you can see, that's the second spring now going down. go. That gives you, I think that's a really nice shot of the mooring party at work. As I say, a lot of their job consists of waiting around for the stuff to happen, but when the stuff happens, they do it quickly, efficiently, no messing about. Brilliant job. Let's also not forget that this job on the mooring party is a dangerous job. Like so much dock work, it can be quite dangerous because ropes under extreme tension, when you've got 200,000 tons of ship effectively pulling on a rope, ropes under extreme tension can break. And when they break with a big bang and a lot of movement. The ropes themselves actually lash back to the point where they're made faster on the ship and on the shore, and they tend to go back at an immense pace, and they can literally, well, do a lot of harm to an individual. So these guys are doing a tough job in the realest sense of the word. I think we can also see now that, can we? No, I don't think we can, sorry. So the rope that's hanging down at the moment is the second spring, and it looks like they're now starting to heave that up to the bollard. And once that's firmly ashore, she's pretty firmly tied up. Coming up towards 10 to 6. That's it. And now I think going to use a winch on the truck to pull up that spring so they can make it fast. Because of course you have to remember that the ropes are really, when you can see them in here, they're kind of very thick and very strong. OOCL Japan has just arrived, in fact, from Gdansk in Poland, where she's been working cargo. get back a little bit. If you're a regular down at the viewpoint, I think you'll know just how big this ship actually looks when you're up close. They are very impressive and really massive to look at alongside the harbour cranes. They're massive, massive ships. The other thing to say to you is that if you look back into the days of shipping TV on YouTube, which I made up until about a year or 18 months ago, you can find some footage actually shot from on board these ships and from close alongside on the quay, and you'll get an even truer idea of just how monumental they are. Ships are huge, and you look up and you think, my goodness, do I have to climb all the way up that gangway? You're looking up quite a long way into the air to the main deck. And when you're on the main deck, you can look down, and you really are looking down. And then on the bridge, of course, it's a similar story. But more so, the distance to look down is a long way, and the distance you can see out is monumental. I think we all get impressed with, if you like, machines of the size of modern ships that are made by people. It's amazing. 400 meters long. That's about 1,300 feet, and it's a huge device. Driven by a single massive marine diesel engine. And there you go. That, I think, is going to do us for this morning. We are just coming up to half an hour of the mighty OOCL Japan coming alongside at berth 9 at Felixstowe. Beautiful big ship, keeping Felixstowe's dockers in work, keeping Felixstowe's haulage companies in work and drivers in work. And to be honest with you, we're glad to see her, because she'll keep those guys working away. So there you have it. Okay, I'm Chris. This is Felixstowe Live. The mighty OOCL Japan is now safely alongside, and they're just making her fast. I just want to look at one thing else actually before we go, just to see whether they have got her head wraps on the bollard yet. I don't think they have actually. Looks like they're working on it. And they're waiting for a heaving line, and it doesn't look like there's any sign of the guys on the ships around it, but there you go. It will all happen in due time. Okay, so that's the mighty OOCL Japan, or 210,000 tons of her, coming alongside at the port of Felixstowe. She came alongside first at about 5:30 a.m. It's now just around 6 a.m. and we're going to say thank you for watching this clip. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy it if you're watching it later. And come down and have a look for yourself, have an ice cream, and watch these big ships being worked on. I'm going home for a cup of tea because I'm losing my voice. And I'm Chris, and I will see you very soon. Take care now.